Glory, wonder, and terror await those who are willing to explore deep enough. What truly lies at the bottom of the abyss? Let's descend. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, bonjour, and what's up? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're excited for another fun episode of this awesome podcast you can find at www.spiraken.com. We're also on YouTube, Blue Skies, Instagram, Spotify, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAKN. I'll guarantee you find us one way or another. And if you are watching on YouTube, as usual, remember to like, share, subscribe, and click on that bell for notification for when we release new episodes, because we've got so many really cool things that are coming out. Also, remember to subscribe everywhere else. But I digress. Enough of this shilling. Let's actually get to it, because I'm excited to talk about this manga that is one which truly is one of those don't judge the book by its cover, because the book cover is very different than the narrative. And anyway, if you remember from that last episode, I spun that one that only the Wheel of Manga, and it dictated to be there reviewing a manga that was written by Akihito Tsukushi, and we're talking about Made in Abyss. And this is a story which, in order to explain this, we have to get into what the basic premise is. And this is a story that follows a daring group of delvers, adventurers lured by the call of the abyss. This living, breathing enigma shrouded in mystery, a colossal chasm that's a paradox of breathtaking wonder and unspeakable horror, where every layer shows you surreal beauty and just this horrible, unimaginable peril. And each descent risks life, sanity, and in humanity itself. But the abyss also will reward the curious with relics beyond comprehension. It also will punish those with a curse worse than death. And the eponymous abyss is a gigantic, extremely large, enigmatic chasm that plunges deep into the earth that was found about 1900 years ago next to the remote island of Orth. And it is a huge pit where you can't fly over it, you can't dig into it. However, there is stuff to be found, because it is a huge layered place where every layer has its own ecosystem, creatures, flora, fauna, there are relics to be found. So for the brave, you're willing to go down there, and there are tons of layers that have never been discovered. And this goes really deep, because each layer is roughly, it doubles the amount of what it is. The first layer is roughly 1.5 kilometers deep. And then from there, it goes to another 3 kilometers down. And then from there, it goes 4 kilometers from that, 4 kilometers further than that. So it's like 0 to 1.3 meters, then 1.3 meters to 2.6 meters, then 2.6 to 700, and it keeps increasing the size. And each one is different. And it is an enigma for each one, because there are so many things to discover in these worlds. And people are willing to search these delvers. And each delver is ranked by their whistle, because each one has a whistle that is their essential, this is who you are, which is kind of cool. However, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, because let's be honest, the depths are truly split into various locations. The first step is the edge of the abyss. This is 1.3 meters down. It's a lush forest with flora, fauna, and some predatory beasts, but most novices and trainees and cave raiders, who are not actually delvers, they're ones who don't have whistles, can survive it pretty easily. Our next layer down is the Forest of Temptation. This is where things get a little weird, because we've got this foggy jungle of carnivorous plants and hallucinogenic spores, which cause problems. And then we go further down, it gets darker, because we get the Great Fault, which that's a clear shift face. Then further down we have the Goblet of Giants, and all of these horrible things. But that's not what you should worry about. What you should worry about is, well, we'll talk about that in a moment, because our main character is Rico. Rico is a young white whistle, which is the lowest class of delver besides a bell. Because when your baby, you're given a bell, that's the bottom. But red whistles are apprentices, and that's what she is. She is a red whistle. From there, it goes to Adept, which is a blue whistle. Then there's the moon whistle, the black whistle, and then at the top are the white whistles, the legendary 7, who are the greatest delvers of all time. And Riko wants to be one of these because the most popular of these white whistles is her mom, Lyra. And she is excited to join her mom and see her again after so many years. It's been so long. But she has to learn the basics. She's living currently in a orphanage because her mom hasn't been seen in a couple years because she went delving down deep. And the further down you delve, the harder it is to get back up because of a very unique reason, the curse. Because there's a curse on the abyss. What is that curse I'm talking about? Well, the curse of the abyss is an affliction which occurs whenever you're going into the abyss. If you're outside the abyss, this doesn't count. You could dig down, you'll be fine. But once you go into the abyss, this curse is unavoidable unless specific things. And actually, because of how Riko was born, she has to wear glasses because she has a little bit of the curse in her. Because without the glasses, she gets severe headaches and migraines. But she is learning about this, and the curse works like this. Whenever you go down more than 10 meters, the curse goes into effect. So every 10 meters you go down, if you go up, the curse will immediately hit. In the first layer, all that's going to happen is you're going to get a little bit of headache, a little bit of dizziness, some mild nausea. That's about it. Nothing crazy. When you go to the second layer, you start getting intense nausea, you get severe migraines, and your extremities start to not being able to be felt. In the third layer, you get all those, so the dizziness, the nausea, the headaches, the numbiness of the extremities. And then you get auditory and hallucinations, you get vertigo, and you get problems with your equilibrium. And then once you hit the fourth layer, besides all these, you also get intense pain throughout the body, and you get bleeding from every single orifice. And then further down it goes more horrifying until at the point where you're past the sixth layer. At that point, you're pretty certain you're going to die. So we don't know what's at the bottom of this because no one's come back up. Most people, they communicate with these balloons that shoot up. But Riko wants to do this because she wants to be a delver. And she's been training, and she's a red whistle, and she's going to do this because also you can make a lot of money from the artifacts you find. You bring them back up, you make money, that works. And she wants to be famous like her mom. And the Abyss is a beautiful place. And this is really cute because you see how Riku looks. Riku's a cute little girl, not even 10 years old. And she's going to go to the first layer to help out people. It's going to be great. Wonderful. She's going there with one of her best friends. It's going to be good. However, as she's exploring, she notices her best friend has fallen down and is bleeding, and there is a giant monster about to eat her, or eat him. Yes, I know, it's crazy. This monster is going to consume her friend, and this is not a little monster, this is a huge monster, and this is the perils of the Abyss. So what can Riku do? Does she have a weapon? No, she's a red whistle. She has notes on everything, because she categorizes things and she studies. So she tries to make this monster follow her, and she'll run away, what she thinks, because this thing is probably going to kill her. She ends up running off after blowing the whistle, drawing its attention, and this thing is a giant flying serpent. What could she do? What could save her? Well, after a very long, harrowing chase, a bright light appears and blasts this thing in half and leaves a bunch of holes in the wall. And she's like, what the heck? What was that? Save me. Her friend is like, oh, what happened? I was knocked out. Oh, I think a monster. I'm okay. Not realizing that this friend was going to die instantly if Riku hadn't saved him. But she's confused as to what made this huge, big blast. So Riku ends up following the carnage and the debris from the destruction and stumbles upon a boy. Or what she thinks is a boy, but it's not a boy. It's actually maybe an android? We're not entirely sure. It has skin, and he has body parts, all extremities, but he has metal arms and he's got a weird helmet. This is her meeting with Reg. Reg is apparently lost technology, that he has consciousness and he's just a boy that's essentially robotic. And the cool thing is that Reg, because he isn't human, he's not affected by the curse. But again, he's not human. So she ends up taking him home and trying to get him acquainted because she wants to know, who are you? How do you know these things? How are we going to do this? And it's going to be good. She's going to have this new friend and he's going to teach her about the abyss, but he has no memory of anything except when she woke him up. And he knows that he's a person. He knows he has body parts. And this crazy girl wants to be his friend. So because he knows nothing else, he ends up becoming her friend. He knows he has stretchy extendo arms. He knows he has a hat that he can take off. And turns out that he actually has a cannon in his arm called the Annihilator that he learns about later on. That'll knock him out. The other part is he ends up learning more about the school. He ends up going to the school. They dress him up, say, oh, you're a kid who lost his family. You want to be a Delver. He ends up at the orphanage. He's living there and he learns more about what's going on. Like, for example, the curse, how to become a Delver, and he's a red whistle. And this is how our story begins until there's a commotion. Someone is coming up from the depths. Someone major. It's actually the uncle of Riku, and he has come bearing a white whistle. Specifically, the white whistle of Lyra, her mother. Riku no longer is like, what am I going to do? Like, why should I wait for mom? I'm going to go find her. Because if you find a whistle, that means you're dead. So this is pretty much them saying, yeah, your mother, the greatest of all the white whistles, is dead. We're giving you the whistle. There's a note with it for you, which makes no sense, but she thinks it's find me in the abyss. So this begins Riku and Reg's journey into the abyss and the perils that will happen to them on this journey, which is one way. It is a story of wonder and horror. It is a story of loss, discovery, and it's one of these stories that it is one of a kind. There is nothing else like this. The premise itself is so, not bizarre, it's wonderful. It's so engaging, and more importantly, when you, at first, it's like, oh, this is kind of a cute story about, oh, they're talking about the abyss, it's great, wonderful, and like it's a place where people go to explore. And the minute that we see there's actual danger, it's not little danger. It's not like, oh no, there's a snake that's going to bite you. No, it's, you're only 50 meters down and there is a giant lizard the size of a plane about to try to eat you. Or further in the depths, there's the corpse weepers who sound like people and they draw you in to be infected by their babies. Or worse than that, you have one creature which straight up, it's like a porcupine that'll pierce you and kill you. And the other part is, as they're delving down, remember what I said, 10 meters. That's 30 feet. You have 30 feet to play with. So if something's chasing you and you have to go up, you're going to get hit with it immediately. It's not like it's a, oh, you're on level 5. You can go up and it won't affect you. It'll just be the first symptoms. No, once you get to that layer, 30 feet, you will be affected immediately by that. So if you're on the 4th layer, you shoot up because Reg has his extendo arms. You're just trying to go up a little bit. As I said before, you're going to be bleeding from your orifices. Or what's the other part? Because there aren't a lot of people down there. There's a station at the 4th level by a group of delvers who are like, this is where we live. This is where we stay. Can't go back up. You're screwed that way, but this is where we have all of our stuff. This is the area where you can kind of meet. Besides that, there are no doctors. There is no help. So if you break your arm, if you get injured, you have to take some interesting choices. You may have to remove things, or you may have to survive. And this is a story of survival. There are 13 volumes out now, and wow, I sped through these because just you're reading more and more into it. Also, the series introduces one of the best villains ever in Borand, where, wow, I thought most anime dads are pieces of shit. This guy, like, he makes Sho Tucker look like a good dad. Because Sho at least let his daughter survive, kind of. Spoilers if you haven't read Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, uh, yeah, it is an amazing, the plot is great. Now, next, how is the art? The art is whimsical and very different. It looks all like sketch drawings, and I love that it's like sketch drawings. I love that each image is very together and very. It looks like you're looking through Riku's notebook, and the designs of all the creatures and all the characters are great. I mean, there are some which are like Midi is horrifying, and if you don't know who Midi is, Midi comes in later, and Midi is something which, wow, that's it. Oh. And Nanaki, they are a very unique character that joins in on the group. Yeah. So what else can I say about this story? It's a one of a kind story. The art is great. The releases are great. Unfortunately, if you want to find the single volumes, you have to order them from places like Barnes and Noble or Amazon. They do sell the box sets, which are more readily available. Putting the dime out for $60 for each one, kind of much, but it is worth it in the end. And actually, for that reason, I have to give this a really, really, really cool. Read it now. It is this mystifyingly dark series that captivates you to reading more about it. And there are no other manga series like it. This is one of those ones where there's never going to be anything else like this. And this does something different in a way that makes you want to read more. The artwork is beautiful, and you are compelled to follow Rico and Reg as they go to discover the abyss. And you want them to survive and do well, even when they are missing parts. Now, if you disagree with me, you could let me know. You can email me personally at Zan, that's Xan at Spiraken.com, or you could tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know your thoughts, and let me know if you like Made in Abyss or if you think it's overrated. The only thing that some people don't like is that they are kids. This is not oh, she's a teenager. It's like, no, she's like 10 years old, and Reg, even if he's like 1,000 years old, he has the mind of a 10-year-old. So, yeah, there is that. Besides that, yeah, I was really happy to read this, and I want to read more about this. Someone said I should watch the movies. I have not watched the movies. The series you can watch on High Dive, so I might delve into these. Pun not intended, but we'll see. So with that, let's actually get to the manga releases of the week, because we've got some fun ones this week. Starting off with 100 Ghost Stories That Will Lead to My Own Death, Volume 2. Akane Banashi, Volume 11. Apparently, Disillusioned Adventurers Will Save the World, Volume 6. This is the final volume of the series. April Showers Bring May Flowers 2. Banished from the Hero's Party, I Decide to Live a Quiet Life in the Countryside, Volume 13 this is the light novel. Beyblade X, Volume 2. Blue Lock Special Nagi, Volume 3. Case Closed, Volume 94. I've given up trying to figure out when this series is going to end. Over the years, I've said, this will be the final volume. Nope, this is still coming out. This is never going to end. Let's be honest. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the official coloring book, Volume 3. If you like the coloring books, these are worth it. I think there's a big one on Zenitsu, and, of course, the best this year ever in this, so check it out. The Demon Swordmaster of Excalibur Academy, Volume 11. This is another light novel. Destroy All Humans, They Can't Be Regenerated, Volume 3. This is the Magic the Gathering manga. Twisted Wonderland, the manga, Book of Seven Claw, which is the incarnation of Scar. The Elegant Courtly Life of the Tea Witch, Volume 2. The Ephemeral Senses of Setsuna's Journey, Volume 5. Fall in Love, You False Angels, Volume 2. Firefly Wedding, Volume 2. Gene Bride, Volume 1. The God-Slaying Demon King, Volume 1. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, Volume 21. I Got That Feeling That Nobukina-kun Likes Me, Volume 6. I Want to Do Bad Things with You, Volume 5. I'm giving the disgraced noble lady I rescued crash courses in naughtiness, Volume 8. I'm the Grim Reaper, Volume 3. Kaiju number 8, B-Side, Volume 1. Keisan and Yamada, Volume 4. Level 1 Demon Lord and One Room Hero, Volume 8. Magical Explorer, Volume 9. Malevolent Spirit Monogatari, Volume 10. A Man and His Cat, Volume 13. Mi-chan Wants to Be Kept, Volume 1. My Isekai Life, Volume 18. My Neighbor Totoro, the official cookbook. And this one is actually a full cookbook. Kind of cool. No Love Zone, Volume 3. Pokemon Sword and Shield, Volume 12. Seduced by the Demon King, A Sensual Rebirth, Volume 1. Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie, Volume 20. Splatoon 3, Splatlands, Volume 4. Star Wars The High Republic, The Edge of Balance, Premonition. The Strange House, Volume 3. A Terrified Teacher at Ghoul School, Volume 16. Tokyo Revengers, The Series Guide, Remember You. Tomo-chan is a Girl, Volume 7 to 8, Omnibuy. World's End Harem, Fantasia, Volume 14. And then last and certainly not least, we've got Yamushi Pedal, Volume 27. So these are the manga releases for the week. Which are the ones you're most excited about? There was a lot of ecchi and hentai this month. We got some really good ones as well, like Yao Pedal. I was surprised came out. But the one that we're most excited about are going to be Jean Bride, Volume 1. The God-Slaying Demon King, Volume 1. Kaiju number 8, B-Side, Volume 1. Mi-chan Wants to Be Kept, Volume 1. And Seduced by the Demon King, Volume 1. These are the releases for the week that I think are going to be the best. But if you disagree with me, let me know. Email me at zanspiraken.com or tweet me at Spiraken. And with that in mind, I want to thank each and every one of you who have been checking out this podcast. Every email I get, every comment I get, every new subscriber. I appreciate each and every one of you. You all are awesome. And I love doing this. I want to keep doing this so an old man has to read manga with thick glasses and a magnifying glass. So thank you for checking this out. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Also, if you haven't had a chance, check out our other social media accounts. Check us out on Apple Music. Leave us some comments, some notes. And also, if you want to help us keep the lights on, you can always donate to 10url.com/Spiraken for our GoFundMe, which is still going on for another month. Any little bit helps. Even if you tell your friends about it, it's worth it. We were able to raise enough to fix our laptop, and we are going to be going to a convention this year. We're going to that awesome Animazement in Raleigh in May. I would have gone to AB, but I didn't think it was going to be, I was going to be able to afford it with the repairs on the computer. Maybe next year for AB, but we'll see. As for Oda, still up in the air, but we're going to find out. But I digress, because it is time for the most popular part of this podcast. And what are we talking about? We are talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Except no substitute. So what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a wheel of fortune with 10 slots on it. What I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots. We're going to spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, that's the manga review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 587. We're 13 away from episode 600, and I'm excited to get to 600. I was hoping to get 500 subscribers for the channel by then, but I'm excited to see what we're going to get. So let's spin, see what we're going to review the next episode, shall we? Also, remember, if you'd like to leave us a list, email me at zanspiraken.com and with 10 manga titles, and I'll put it on as a wheel list. So let's see what we're going to spin the next episode, shall we? Number 4, Real. So in the next episode, we're going to be reviewing a manga about basketball and people in wheelchairs. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? I have to wait and find out. But I hope you enjoy. And as usual, I am your host, Zan. I am Gonzville. I'll catch you guys next time. And keep reading manga. See you later.